In response to my video content, someone could say, "Wow, that was brilliant. Thanks a lot." Or, "Wow, that was brilliant. Thanks a lot." Remember, the same words and phrases can mean completely different things to different people. Hey super thinkers, welcome back to Harness Thought. We are on episode 8 of the Racial Reconciliation series. This video is a follow-up of episode 7. Wait, duh. Episode 8 would naturally come after the 7th. Moving along. In the last video, we did an in-depth dive into what it means when someone of lighter color, usually of European descent, says they are colorblind or uses the phrase, "I don't see color." And we covered what it might sound like to our ears. Today, we are taking a look at what it means when a person of color says that they don't see color. Now, I will be honest with you. You probably won't hear us say this very much. In fact, I don't think I have ever heard the exact phrase, "I am colorblind," come out of a person's mouth that wasn't white. But that's just my personal experience. But sometimes a person of color will say a similar phrase like, "I don't see color," or "I don't see your color." This almost sounds pedantic, even to my own ears. But since we live in the world of Twitter and social media trolls, we need to thoughtfully explore the nuances. Here are a few scenarios in which we, as people of color, might say this. And don't get nervous, it's a shorter list than the last video. If you haven't watched it already, I will link the playlist so you can catch up on anything you missed. Number 1, it means that we literally don't see color, as in we are clinically colorblind, also known as achromatopsia. Who doesn't cry when we see one of those ChromaLens videos? In all seriousness, someone seeing color for the first time is a beautiful thing to watch. Number 2, it means that we don't automatically judge your character by your skin tone. That doesn't mean that we don't exercise some form of judgment on you at first glance. In fact, as a minority, we naturally may do this to a more extensive degree in situations that you might not even consider. To a Caucasian person, this might sound like paranoia. For me specifically, it's just the normal protocol. We all have first impressions of people we meet, especially if they are different than us in some form, and everyone's different. But even more specifically, when we are in an environment that causes us to feel our differences in skin tone and culture more acutely, like at church or family gatherings, if you're in an interracial relationship or have friends of a different race and you're invited, our senses might be on high alert. If you are red, yellow, black, or white, or even green, and you are in a relationship with any different ethnicity, you might experience this alertness to some degree. That's what senses are for. They help us to judge pleasant versus foul sights, smells, and tastes, safe versus dangerous situations and conditions, happy versus painful experiences with people, places, or things, etc. Our brains register associations and compare and contrast. That is a good thing and does not constitute racism. Let me say that again for the people in the back. This type of objective categorization is not racism. And it doesn't matter what color you are. Stereotyping versus objective categorization will have to be yet another video. In short, when we say we don't see color, we are seeing it, obviously, but we are taking it all in and moving color and cultural differences to the back of our mind in favor of making room to judge you by your character, just like the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. wanted.
I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Let me emphasize again, seeing and acknowledging color is not racism. And lastly, number 3, it means that we are just tired of dealing with race in general. Now, this can mean one of 2 things. The first is that we really don't want to cast a spotlight on race. We truly are tired of people taking the fact that they do see color to the opposite extreme. Some people make everything a race issue, when common sense would tell us that it clearly is not if we would just look at the whole situation. We understand the 400-year history of racial disparities in the United States, but we don't believe that color plays nearly the role that it used to. Yes, there are systems in place, grievances, and areas that still need some reform, but by and large, a person in the United States of any color has a far better chance than in the past. I will call this the Denzel Washington or the Morgan Freeman, whichever you prefer.
They are prevented or deprived from achieving their big dreams because of their skin color. I'll give you an example. Globetrotters, they were much better basket players than the white guys, but they were not allowed to play in the big league.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think it is the problem is the racial discrimination?
The right word is not is, was.
Was.
And that's not the only problem. That's one of the problems. Now, you can make it the only one if you'd like.
And the second is that we are just tired of trying to explain colorblindness and its implications and have decided that we are just going to verbally agree with you because you adamantly claim to be colorblind. This is the nod and smile. We're just agreeing. Just like this. Yeah. For me personally, I align with both options 2 and 3, depending on the circumstances, because I'm not clinically colorblind. Seeing color is a progression, not a recession, like some people want you to believe that are in this race-baiting game. The first photographs were in black and white and were grainy. Now we have 4K high-definition color. I'm not techie, so I don't know if that came out right. Let's appreciate the color. So yes, you may hear a person of color say that we don't see color, but let me tell you what it never means. It never means that we want you to ignore and discount the fact that we are different. The differences in each of us, whether we be a Scandinavian, Asian, African, Latin, Pacific Island, or European descent, are what makes us beautifully unique. It just means that we don't want some form of discrimination. And hear this, nor should we want entitlement attached to the fact that we have a different skin color. Unfortunately, many do want the entitlement, but that's just racism directed to the other party. Discrimination in any direction is still racism. This series is meant to be neutral ground for the sake of education and reconciliation. Let me know what your thoughts about or experiences have been, no matter your skin color. If you have any questions or comments regarding race, specifically within the church, please leave them below. Hateful speech will be deleted. If you have found value in this content, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so YouTube knows to share this video. Remember, cultivate the art of thoughtfulness. The world needs more kindness. This is Harness Thought. See you in the next video.